The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice.
It's all a pack of lies. Open up your eyes. Everything that you believe in, a big deception. We controlled by the ones deceiving, the ones who really pick the president. It's evident. Look for evidence. You'll find that nothing is irrelevant. Tell me why two Kennedys shot by the same entity, the two towers brought down by the same enemy. The same people preach the new world order. Take everything you got and make your life shorter. Tell me why they own half the world's wealth. They can feed, clothe, and shelter every person on earth himself. It's global domination. They confiscate nations, denominations, and set the people up to vote for phony nominations. Hijackers, yeah right, the real terrorists want Americans shook to death so we won't fight and strip the Constitution naked. A swine flu shot, they ain't even gotta force you to take it. Well, maybe not yet. Scare tactics don't work properly. The federal government turn your arms into their property. Ain't a believer, then you can't see the fact. It might be you getting taken to that Camp Beamer. Is this the land of the free? Let's take a vote on this. They want control of the globe, I stake my soul on this. But this is my life, you'll never get your hold on this. You got the trump card, but still I never fold on this. Open up your eyes, try to piece together the proof. The real criminals, they walk around in three-piece suits. I educate a whole nation when I speak in the booth. And all you have to do is listen if you're seeking the truth. 4 bullets, 3 different shooters. 4 planes, 3 hit like the bullets from the executors. This ain't democracy, it's prophecy. Revelations in the flesh. Yes, the Constitution made a mockery. Mental slavery enforced by Freemasonry. And basically they want to segregate us racially. Control the population with poison inoculations. And if you ask the reason why, you told us classified information. I live illegally, try to control my brain but feebly. I'm too intelligent to take it sitting down leisurely. My body and soul's a temple. You ain't got credentials when I leak my clear thoughts over instrumental. So everybody get your mind right, like it's smoke a dime night, and pray that my influence is designed right to open up your train of thought and make your brain afford. Nobody can penetrate unless you play yourself short. I ain't giving in to influence. Before I do that, I use my mind, soul, and body as some instruments to keep me on the path of the righteous. Whether you like this or not, this the only fucking life that I got. Is this the land of the free? Let's take a vote on this. They want control of the globe, I stake my soul on this. But this is my life, you'll never get your hold on this. You got the trump card, but still I never fold on this. Open up your eyes, try to piece together the proof. The real criminals, they walk around in three-piece suits. I educate a whole nation when I speak in the booth. And all you have to do is listen if you're seeking the truth.
It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no secret is revealed. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
Murder in this bitch and we don't fuck around with fakes. Frontin' hard that you regulate and hate all that we make. I take a motherfucking space, slam it right into the bricks. Cause he hating all the time just to impress some bitch. You know I see through you and hate what I witness. My hit list just added a name and my wish is to cross the next through your fake name and placement on your brain. Leave the walls covered in bloody remains. It's like
you put up a front, try to cover up the real. You do everything to keep the truth concealed. Bitch, you fake and we all know why. And we can read between the lines. Everybody get dropped with a quickness. Bitches slit their wrist and blood drips when a wrist hits. My dick is part of your mouth's anatomy, and my nuts keeping you alive, so why the fuck you mad at me? You know it's wicked over these Mike Clark beats, and we forever represent the label that runs beneath the streets, motherfucker. Put up a front, try to cover up the real. You do everything to keep the truth concealed. Bitch, you fake and we all know why, and we can read between the lines. Everybody knows who you really are, and all them lies won't go too far. Bitch, you fake and we all know why, and we can see through all your lies.
I can't even believe what the fuck is going on, and I don't even conceive how the fuck you doing wrong. I knew it all along, you were just another nameless. I think it's time you little bitches become famous. It's simple enough, understand how it goes. Everybody knows what's up with you hoes. It ain't just us that never believed in you. We can all see right through what the fuck you do.
You put up a front, try to cover up the real. You do everything to keep the truth concealed. Bitch, you fake and we all know why, and we can read between the lines. Everybody knows who you really are, and all them lies won't go too far. Bitch, you fake and we all know why, and we can see through all your lies. What the fuck is this? OTIS and bones, and we riding through your hoods looking for hydros and hoes. Until just the other day when I was walking on my own, a sucker tried to hit me for my stack and my cell phone. I said fuck that, you gets nothing, bro. Then I let them know why they call me Mr. Cutting Throats. So here we go with another flow, you feel my rage. Now give it up to the dead man Blaze. Blaze. Give it up, dead man Blaze. Give it up, dead man Blaze. Give it up, dead man Blaze.
You say that you an artist, but we both know your skills are garbage, and that's what makes us stupid as a target. We all wanna be a sergeant, but there is only one general, and he right here rocking the instrumental. You're proud to the fact that this is just not your home. You do anything to hang on and bring on nothing but destruction here. But I've been around forever, homie, I ain't going nowhere. You see through like the man, and still I see you. You're faceless and remain nameless too. Regardless who's better off the half span, I never will be. Is anybody really living the dreams? It seems the grass is green until you're gone and you're found. Everybody on the outside wanna be down with the PSYCHOPATHIC. We call it family.
I want you to break down Mitch Daniels. Mike Adams is riding shotgun with us. This is the governor of Indiana. Let's just look into a window of Bilderberg into just Mitch Daniels, who they want. They don't want Rand Paul. We've got that from sources. That they don't like his father. They don't trust Rand Paul, obviously, because he's not a globalist, but he's a little more political. They do not like Rand Paul. They like Mitch Daniels. Rubio went to the CFR and promised world government as well at the same time. But go over the data sheet you wrote up last night from all public sources. And Aaron's going to do an article later today on this. Well, go over this monster.
Well, in short, Mitch Daniels ties into the George H.W. Bush power structure, but even more than that,
he's a Quayle frontman.
Dan Quayle. The Quayle family basically owns Indiana. Each state has its own little mini cartels, and Mitch Daniels worked with Eli Lilly. He was head of the corporation that the Quayle family owns a controlling interest. You wonder why they sold us on all these gaffes about how stupid Dan Quayle was, how he couldn't spell potato, or how he thought a $4 job at Burger King was a sign of economic progress. That's all to keep you from looking at the admitted ties he has.
Yeah, just like how the Queen's cute. That's a standard psych warfare operation. These are genius level, vicious killer psychopaths. Okay, I mean, again, they got the aspartame approved, they got the Prozac approved, and then he was the front man to cover up all the mass deaths and suicides. Keep breaking him down.
And of course, Eli Lilly is the top producer of thimerosal that they put in vaccines, and under the George W. Bush administration, they tried to sneak in total dismissal of all thimerosal-based vaccine lawsuits under the Homeland Security Bill in 2002. But that's to protect us from 9/11, Alex. But Mitch Daniels is a lifelong lobbyist through the Reagan administration, through the Bush administration, for Eli Lilly. He headed the company in the late 80s, early 90s. Before that, he was president and CEO of the Hudson Institute.
You're on camera.
Who is the Hudson Institute? Well, they're basically the Rand Corporation. It was founded just like the Rand Corporation by Herman Kahn and his buddies. They call it a conservative think tank. I don't see what the scientific, military-industrial think tank business has anything to do with the idea of conservatism.
This is a scientific takeover of the economy, and that's why they get even more globalism under Republicans. Anybody that thinks Mitt Romney's going to save them has a hole in their head. And again, I'm not even attacking Mitt Romney himself or Obama. They are non-consequential. There will be no difference but in rhetoric, folks. This is a scientific blueprint takeover in their own words. Tell them about how he was the head of the highest subgroup that directs Rand.
Yeah, that is the Hudson Institute. Today, it's headed by Henry Kravis's wife, Marie-Josée Kravis. They meet annually at Bilderberg, but it used to be Mitch Daniels. They're absolutely part of the top power structure. They're a lot more secretive than these other groups, and they really steer the way this whole system is going. And you can see how it interlocks with Eli Lilly. Immediately after leaving the CIA, George Herbert Walker Bush went to the Eli Lilly Corporation on the board of directors, put there by the Quayle family.
And there's toll roads run through it all. I mean, it's just insane. Yeah. And it's every one of these guys. Once you start looking at them, they're connected to all the other groups. And what's the number one thing? It's pushing poison on the public, fluoride in the water, GMO, McDonald's. It's all been a plan.
I'm suspicious of Scientology as well, but that whole demonization of Scientology came about from Quayle and Bush and Mitch Daniels in the early 90s when they almost stopped Prozac, killed its market share, and were about to have it removed. Instead, they released hit piece after hit piece in all the major papers to make them look crazy. Maybe they are. That's up to you to decide. Well, but they didn't like them attacking Eli Lilly's Prozac. Mitch Daniels, in particular.
At bare minimum, the Scientologists are a competitor group with the globalists. They want to. That's the argument that they want to be them.
Well, I'm not even getting into Scientology, but they were hurting the Prozac shares.
They know what's going on.
And Mitch Daniels was a specialist at defending the role of Prozac in the public's mind, and it drove market shares right back up, spiked up there as they continued to put thimerosal in the vaccines. It tried to get themselves immunity on it. Mitch Daniels is an angel of death, just like many of the others.
That's a good headline.
But he was part of the Indiana toll roads again. And Macri with their thumbprints all over it.
And they take over. Now they're going to get Mopac, a paid-for road, alter the lane that you get, and turn it into a toll road, even though that's illegal. Bush signed an executive order saying they could. He has an executive order overthrow law, and it's just total criminal takeover.
They get these conglomerates.
And they do these fake choices. It could all be toll road or only part. What do you want? And again, while they block all the other roads being built and steal all the money they have a surplus in Texas. It's total criminality.
No, they're the masters of the false left-right paradigm. It's not just Obama and Romney. It's Coke and Pepsi meet at Bilderberg. It's one writer at Bilderberg says, let's use diplomacy in Syria. The other writer says, let's bomb them right now today.
And let's starve them, yeah, Fareed Zakaria.
Exactly.
I mean, these people are unbelievable. They're masters of controlling a fake paradigm, a false reality. It's like going to Disney World. It's its own city. It's its own town. It's fake. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And again, look up Disney World Pentagon Laboratory. You'll find out the whole thing's a Pentagon laboratory. For Fallujah, and you're like, Fallujah, how to lock a city down, how to have biometrics, and you're paying to be part of a laboratory. I mean, these people are unbelievable.
The more you read into this, the more you see that the CIA just bleeds over into the Rand Corporation, bleeds over into Bilderberg. These people
admit Google's NSA created, as I told you, decades. I mean, this all here.
Yeah, and they have huge conglomerates to suck out the profits while they make the public pay for infrastructure. Mitch Daniels, again, not only did the toll road, he put a new tax.
Yeah, so there's really not just the government. There's this corporate private state where they're now transferring its power over to it completely, calling it privatization. That's why they're flirting with libertarians, because it's a fake libertarian system.
Oh, but privatization, Mitch Daniels put a new tax on the people of Indiana so they could build sports stadiums, the Lucas Oil Stadium, the Indiana Convention Center.
Which, again, is a psych warfare center.
Tax
they can
on
also
liquor
use to put them in the camp, yeah.
It was a tax on liquor, though, so it sounds like he's doing something good. But the point is, he's a continuation of Quayle and Bush. I didn't even get into how they rigged the FDA so they could approve biotech, sell vaccines unapproved by the FDA
Nanotech is
overseas.
already in most people's brains. It's in hundreds of foods. They're engineered into it. We've all been hit with cancer viruses. We'll be back with Mike Adams straight ahead. Final segment.
A while ago. Mitch Daniels, the governor of Indiana, of course, we had all this speculation about Marco Rubio being the potential VP pick for Mitt Romney. This stemmed from a Washington Post article written by veteran 30-year columnist Al Kamen, in which he referenced John Edwards' 2004 attendance at the Bilderberg meeting in Stresa, Italy, where he gave an impressive, to the Bilderberg members, foreign policy speech. And even as the campaign vehicles were all being labelled with Kerry Gephardt stickers, they in fact changed it at the last minute after Edwards' Bilderberg performance, and Edwards became the VP pick. Again, in 2008, James A. Johnson, who is there right now in Chantilly attending once again, he selected Barack Obama's running mate. And of course, back in 2004, John Edwards ran with John Kerry, who again is in attendance today. So there was speculation about Rubio being the potential VP, but we've actually got Mitch Daniels in attendance, the governor of Indiana. There was a story out of the Ticket from a few days ago. Mitch Daniels dismisses Romney Veep talk. It won't happen. Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels, who offered a tepid endorsement of Mitt Romney only after the Republican primaries, pushed back hard against the idea that he'll be chosen as Romney's running mate. And basically they've all said that. Rubio's said it. A number of the other potential VP candidates have said it. But it's just interesting that Mitch Daniels is at Bilderberg because they have a history of having a hidden hand influence in the US presidential election. So we'll wait to see what develops from that. Of course, Rubio's already attended numerous foreign policy speeches in the weeks leading up to Bilderberg. So we'll see what becomes of that. Again, we've got the full official attendee list on prisonplanet.com.
The Department of Natural Resources Division of Forestry partners with universities in Indiana in an effort to keep learning new things about our forests and to help train students interested in this type of work. I'm here at Purdue University inside the Plant Tissue Culture Lab. Let's go take a look. In the lab, scientists work with tree DNA to develop better hardwood trees using plant tissue culture.
We conduct research on fine hardwood trees.
This includes cloning superior trees and helping trees that are susceptible to disease or even unwanted insects like the invasive emerald ash borer. Forest genetic research also extends to wildlife around the forest.
Partly what my job is as a scientist for the Forest Service is to help these trees deal with new problems like new pests and diseases that arise in the forest, and not just affecting the tree, but affecting the entire ecology of the forest.
On a day-to-day basis, the graduate students and the lab manager work on different aspects of plant tissue culture and molecular biology. It's a long process. It's not something that you can figure out overnight. We're just taking one small leaf explant. We can manipulate the plant growth regulators and the tissue culture nutrient media and actually form a whole new tree from a leaf explant.
Some of these little shoots will become a massive Indiana hardwood tree.
Right now they're very, very tiny, but within a year's time they could be several feet tall. Little mini trees, yes.
The lab is constantly developing better strains for hardwood species.
The overall goal is to be able to produce fine hardwood trees like oak, walnut, cherry, ash for future plantation sites and future reforestation sites. Trees are our future. Trees give us the clean air that we breathe. And so it's very important research.
Knowledge gained from studying our forests can be directly applied in the field. Each year, scientists learn a little more about how to properly manage the woodlands, but it's up to the foresters to put it to work. One unique example of forest management can be found at a nature preserve. Here, the goal is to keep the environment the way it was found. Indiana has more than 250 nature preserves. Two great examples are Post Oak Cedar and Twin Swamps. At Post Oak Cedar, the trees aren't rare, but they are very old. However, the landscape provides for a rare ecosystem.
The open nature, the open character of the site allows unrestored species to occur that you don't often find in the state. These trees don't look old, perhaps to some people, because they aren't large in size. They're not like a large beech or a red oak or white oak that you might find in a moist soil site. Here we're on a very dry and rocky site, and consequently it's a difficult environment for growth of trees. And even though post oak is well adapted to growing on dry sites, they grow slowly. Some of these trees that you see here that are maybe only a foot and a half or 2 feet in diameter could be several hundred years in age. And what we try to do in protecting these sites is to select representative examples of all the vegetation and natural features that once existed in the state. Let's say if you were to go back prior to European settlement and you had the ability to select all the natural vegetation types that existed in the state, that's what we try to find today. And most of our landscape has been pretty altered, but we have been able to find areas that represent the least disturbed examples of the variety of vegetation types that existed in the state. The Twin Swamps Nature Reserve is as far southwest as you can go in Indiana. The area might seem more like the swamps of the deep southern U.S. Not only are there these southern trees there, but many other plants from the south that reach the northern edge of the range. Of all cypress trees here are able to thrive, the area is often covered in water. This tree is one of the only species this far north that can grow well in this ecosystem.